might be fun to do a video on circular breathing. I know that it's a really fun skill to have, and sometimes it can be a little bit tricky without an explanation behind how it happens. I actually learned to circular breathe at an IDRS conference, International Double Reed Society conference in West Virginia. I was in high school, I think, and my dad and I went out and stayed in the dorms, and our suite mates were a couple of college students. And one night, the four of us got pizza and soda and went back to the common area of the dorm, and they taught me how to circular breathe with a straw and the soda that we had. So I'll share some of those tips that they shared with me, and some other things that I've kind of figured out along the way. So usually the first tool that you'll start with is a straw and something filled with a liquid. So here I have got my metal straw because we try to be as green as possible, and my reed cup. So use this straw and first just blow some bubbles. I made a mess. Okay, so the concept behind circular breathing, you're not actually blowing. You are puffing your cheeks out and then releasing it. So see if you can get some air in your cheeks, and then just release your lips and see if you can squeeze your cheeks inwardly. And do that a few times and see if you can get that concept down. Try not to actually use your lungs to blow or use your air at all. You're really doing the opposite of everything you've ever been taught and puffing out your cheeks. So once you get that concept down, let's try it on our reed. All right, do the exact same thing that we just did with the straw. And we know that you need a significant amount of air pressure to get a sound, because you need the vibrations to happen. So you are pushing pretty hard with those cheeks. So that I pushed a little bit harder there. So then we can grab our oboes, and then you can try maybe just an A. Okay, so we've got that concept down. Hopefully. This is a very, very quick tutorial. So that's when you start trying to incorporate it into playing. And usually it's easier on a longer note. The part that got added was I breathed in through my nose. So let's go back to our straw and let's start adding that concept in. So I'm going to puff out my cheeks, and I'm going to breathe through my nose as my cheeks are pushing air through the straw. It's kind of tricky. It's easier to do with water, I guess. So see if you can keep your stream of air going and continue that puffing and simultaneously breathing through your nose. And then, oh, I guess we'll just use the oboe. So you can hear a little bit of a tone in there, probably because I'm a little out of shape because we're in the middle of a pandemic and I have hardly played. Secondly, because you're really not able to support the reed very much since your embouchure is just kind of open and doing what it wants to. So this is can be a tricky thing to do when you're actually moving your fingers and playing. It's definitely possible. But if you're like specifically, let's say we're playing in band and you want to practice this, well, if a whole bunch of other people are playing with you, you're not going to hear that kind of wah pitch change. Secondly, a lot of times there are long held notes that you can practice this on. That's one of the ways that I like to practice circular breathing. I have a premiere coming up here pretty soon. I'm premiering a work called Hidden Currents that I commissioned Catherine Bergman to write. She's a local composer here in the Twin Cities, and I will play a little bit of that. There are some longer notes in the piece. It's brand new, so I don't know it super well, so I have to look at my music down here. But I'll just give you a little example of some circular breathing. So sometimes when you're really exposed, it doesn't always sound that nice and smooth, but there are certain notes that are easier than others to continue that circle on. And I think it's because, I mean, lower notes, we need kind of a looser embouchure, but we need a little more pressure. Air pressure to get the sound out, and higher notes, they don't really need a loose embouchure, but they do need a significant amount of air pressure again. So sometimes kind of in our middle range, it can be a little bit easier. It's harder to round out your tone and your sound when you're circular breathing. So it's not necessarily the perfect fail-safe, but it's definitely something that can help. I use it a lot in quintet because sometimes there's just 5 of us, and so oftentimes we just keep playing and playing and playing. And since I'm not the only one, it's, playing, can be easy to mask the kind of wobbly sound. So yeah. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them below in the comments. I would love to answer any questions you might have. I hope that this video has helped you and that you are able to learn how to circular breathe and use it within your playing at home. Thanks for watching.